this is the High Desert Terrace, and today we will be doing a fun little pick a card reading to see what may be in store for us for the month of May. Before we get started, I am a new channel, so if you've been liking or finding my readings, please consider subscribing below to help me grow. So I decided to go with the Sun card for the piles today. I don't know why, I was just feeling happy and I was feeling that warmth of the sun, and it's going to be May, right? So summer's coming soon, so I just felt like the sun was the perfect way to represent our piles. So pile number 1 will be the Sun card from the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. Pile number 2 will be the Sun card from the Star Tarot. And pile number 3 will be the Sun card from one of my newer decks, which I love. It's the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. And so take a minute and sit, see if any pile is kind of drawing your eye. And then if you haven't watched these videos before, I will leave timestamps in the description so you can fast forward to your pile and hear what your reading is. And again, if you feel like you're being drawn to more than one, you could just listen to both because there's chances are there may be a message in there for you. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get ready to begin with pile 1. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the Sun card from the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, then this is your reading. I do like in my readings to get a clarifier on who the message may be for. When I do pick a pile readings, I'm going to kind of allow you to make that decision by picking a pile that you think is best for you. And so we're just going to get right into the reading. I do want to, oh, that one wants to come out. Okay. So the first card I really wanted to pull was to get a general overview for kind of yourself for the month, and we got the High Priestess. And I'm just going to say there's death on the back of the card. My first thought for you, pile 1, is that May is going to be somewhat of a transformative month for you. It may be coming on the heels of several months beforehand. You may be having some kind of a change. You may have been really thinking about something for a long time. Maybe have kind of went underground almost for a while, but it's almost like when May comes, you've made some kind of decision. I think you've kind of paid your dues. You've spent a lot of time with yourself and you are ready. I feel like there's transformation coming here, and this just feels very positive to me, especially with these two cards coming together. I feel like in some ways you almost probably have been feeling like a change is coming. I think you might be strong in your intuition. And I think that this probably isn't if this pile is truly for you and you're hearing this, my guess is this probably isn't a surprise for you, that you're probably like, I knew something was going to change. I could feel it. Or yeah, I have been by myself a lot. I've been alone. I've already been through significant change. I'm ready for transformation. And I think this is probably just, almost reiterating that is going to be the theme of May for you. Because again, this is really just the theme, kind of getting us going. So I'd be really interested to see what your self-love cards have to tell you. Because again, I think there's an intuitive piece here. There's a piece here that you might have been having dreams about something. You might have been dreaming about someone or something, a new path. You might, have been seeing some signs. So maybe you've been seeing things that have been making you wonder, like, was that a sign? Was that a sign? And I have to say, for some of you, I'm feeling like this is a person. So I wonder if there's been a person that you're almost going to be ready for now that you weren't ready for before. And you're going to start seeing signs that show you that, yes, the time has come. You're ready. You've paid your dues. You've went inwards. You've kind of, I always see the death card as the paying your coins to Hades kind of thing. Like you have to go through certain things just to like be able to reach that point where you can transform. But this feels pretty big for you. And I think you kind of know it's coming. I like the death card. I think the death card can be a hard card sometimes because sometimes it does signal the end of something, but it's also a rebirth, right? Like I said, a transformation. And I do feel like being paired with the High Priestess. So first off, 2 major arcanas, right? There's a lot of black and white, yellow, like the colors are almost identical. So for me, I see that as there's some color coming back into your world, right? You might have been, but when I think very black and white, just things might have been very drab or very like, it's been very mundane or humdrum in some way. Or maybe you yourself, like I feel like you've had to let go or release something and you've turned inward almost. You've been really like, you've possibly been like You might have even been looking up at the sky at night being like, why universe, why? Or please throw me a bone. That's what I need. You might have been doing stuff like that. And I do get this sense that whatever it was, you knew it was coming and you've made peace with it in a way. I think you know it's for your higher good. I think that's where the rebirth comes in because you're letting go of the old. I think in your heart, you know that the thing you've let go of was the best thing you could have. I think it's something that you've probably had for a very long time in your life that didn't serve you. And I feel like in some sense, there's something new that's already kind of peeked its way into your life and you've been maybe resisting or turning inward. But yeah, the transition is coming for you and a new opportunity for life and love. So again, like bringing the color back into your life, bringing the happiness. I think it's really here. I'd either start getting signs of it in May. There might be a change of heart for you in May. You might be able to open yourself up in May. You might be able to fully understand the things that you've been through up to this point, why things had to occur, and you can maybe feel the end results of the transformation you've been in, the letting go, the kind of the peacekeeping or peacemaking you've been doing within yourself. So this feels pretty positive and I'm excited for you guys. I think I'm going to keep this card out here because it feels like these two just want to be together. All right, we're going to get some more clarifier cards. So again, that's kind of the overall theme. So let's find out a little bit more. Let's get some more details on kind of what can we expect on the day-to-day or week-to-week in May. What can pile 1 expect on the day-to-day or week-to-week in May? I feel like a card might not pop out. I almost feel like I'm going to have to cut this one. I saw those cards flip though, but we'll take them if we get them. Yeah, I'm feeling like cutting the deck. So we have, there we go, the Ace of Swords. See, new beginnings, new beginnings. Wow. The 9 of Swords. I don't know. It's like sometimes it feels like this stuff just comes together in a beautiful way. And the 2 of Swords. And I think I'm going to get one more. The Moon. Okay, so we started with the sun, now we have the moon. So we kind of talked about the week to week, and I think I'm going, so I picked 4 cards, right? And again, we're thinking of it under the overall theme. So I feel like you're going to be starting, and I want you to keep in mind, because what I'm feeling with some of these cards is not necessarily bad things are going to happen in you, but I think it's going to be those transformation areas that we discussed in the beginning, right? So the overall is having transformation, rebirth, moving on, letting new things in, right? Kind of letting go of the old, it's just kind of leveling, bringing yourself to a higher level. And I think we kind of see how this is going to unfold on a weekly basis. So we start out with the Ace of Swords. Aces are always great. They're about new growth and change, potential. The Ace of Swords is really about our thoughts and our minds. So I love how that goes together with kind of what we talked about, because we did talk about how, you having possibly dreams or intuition or having taken the time to be with yourself, to be with your mind. And I feel like this card here is telling you that you, especially within the first week of May, that you are going to see that peace of mind that we kind of mentioned. So the first week is going to set the stage, I think, for a lot of the letting go and transformation and change that you're going to go through in the month. You may have a new opportunity. So letting go might be something very logistical, like maybe you've decided to finally let go of a job that you don't like. Maybe you're deciding like, I don't really like where I'm living, and I just kind of, so I feel like you might have come to the conclusion about something, and this week is probably just going to solidify your decision. So if you've kind of been going back and forth, and I think you might end up with some doubt towards the end of the month, and we'll get some clarifier on that. And I think I want to get a clarifier on the Ace of Swords. Can you clarify the Ace of Swords in our position of the first week of May? What else can you tell us about the Ace of Swords? Why did it show up? Okay, the Magician. Beautiful. And I think the Magician goes very well with the High Priestess. So yeah, I think there's just a sense of you really coming into your own power, your own strength, your own beauty in a way, fully understanding how talented you are, how much potential you have. Okay, this is what I just felt. I just felt like you're someone that is just full of potential and talent and power. And I think you might have been in a situation that you were not seeing that. And I think that's really what this kind of stuff has to do with, right? So the death and rebirth, I think it's almost like the death of your self-doubt, of your foreboding anxiety, of keeping yourself trapped, of feeling stuck, of not wanting to face the world, and coming into the realization that you actually possess a lot of power. You have the ability to manifest the things you want, to make the positive changes you want. The hope is here, and I think this is really going to come through for you in May. So again, I'm really excited to see what your self-love cards say. For you, pile one, May 1st is going to be about you. It's going to be you focused, and it's going to be pretty significant because again, we have a lot of major arcana coming out. I think you're going through a big transition period, and all I have to say is if you have been through a hard time, if you have been dealing with anxiety or stress, feeling overwhelmed, feeling stuck and being able to make a decision, I would tell you that I think you're going to be moving beyond that in May. I think that time is kind of over for you. And again, pay attention to dreams you're having, symbols, things that keep repeating themselves, maybe things people tell you that feel really poignant in the moment of like, it's so weird that you said that, right? You might have conversations with people and be like, wow, it's so funny we're talking about this right now, or it's so funny you said that because blah, blah, blah. I think you're going to find that. And then I have to say that I feel different about these cards now. At first I said I thought it was going to be a week by week, but I don't think that it is. I feel like we're still kind of stuck in this. I feel like we're still kind of stuck in like an overall theme. It could be week to week, but I don't know that I necessarily put my weeks in order. I don't know. We'll keep going, but I'm kind of feeling like it could be mixed for you. So maybe the first week you're going to deal with a lot of confusion and stuff, but by the end you're going to recognize your power, right? Maybe you're going to feel like, okay, I get it now. I understand my talent. I'm ready for a new opportunity. I feel like I'm ready to make a decision. You might by the end of the month perhaps start doubting yourself, or maybe new anxieties or worries will come in, and it might leave you in May in the same position that you started in, where you might feel confused. But I'm feeling like if this is an end of the May card, I think it has more to do with perhaps just, how do I word this? I think it has to do with you perhaps just kind of letting things marinate, like all the things that had happened to that point. And you know, whenever there's a lot of newness and change, or we open ourselves up to something that we were before closed off against, it can feel overwhelming. So I think this might just also be a sign that maybe you're going to feel overwhelmed at times. But overall, it really feels like whatever changes you're having are taking you from this state of anxiety and foreboding and just being stuck to a place where you can become a truer you, I guess. That's not what I meant to say, but it came out, right? A truer version of yourself. And like, again, there's more yellow, right? It just feels like, again, more yellow. Yeah, the color's coming back in your life, and that that can be scary. So I kind of think that's what's happening here. All right. But yeah, definitely in the beginning, if it's not the first week, in the beginning, I think you're going, and I really wonder if you are just going to grab hold of a new opportunity with like work or a creative project. Just say, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And then the self-doubt might creep up, but we're going to hold strong, right? Because this is our time of rebirth. And again, trusting your gut, I think, is going to be so important here. Trust your gut, trust your instincts, trust the little synchronies that might seem like they don't mean anything, but they do. This card right here for me is pretty much saying it all. And I really feel like we have our Nine of Swords here. So the Nine of Swords is someone who is pretty much overburdened with what's expected of them in life, just kind of burdened down by life in general. So you might have a week in May where maybe you start to feel overwhelmed with work, or maybe again, maybe you're transitioning out of one job, you're transitioning into a new job, and then that process of transitioning is going to just leave extra work, less time, more stress. So you might feel like, hey, what kind of undertaking have I sign myself up for? Or again, if this is emotional based, because we do have some of that like very personal, spiritual related to me, like personal power type cards, it might just be you kind of, it's like your old, so this was the image I just saw. I just saw this image of like your old child self that's kind of clutching on to all these swords. That's like, no, I can't let go of this stuff. I'm wrapped in my anxiety. I'm wrapped in my grief right now. I'm wrapped in my stagnation. I'm wrapped in this. It's almost like a cozy blanket that you put around yourself. And then I think these new things coming in are kind of going to force you to take off the security blanket and demand that you receive the things in life that you know you deserve, and that you rise up to your own strength and your own talent, and you move forward so that you can create the life and whatever it is that you know that you can. All right, and then we have the Two of Swords. So again, this is kind of the card of, I think, getting stuck in the moment. So probably towards the end of May. And again, I think this is kind of coming out of a natural growth of what's happening here. But we like have that person that they've got their eyes closed, they're crossing their arms, right? They're kind of barricading themselves from the world. And this is really, for me, always looks like the card of someone that's kind of sticking their head in the sand, that they, you know, you have to make a decision, but you don't know what decision to make. That could be a little bit too, you know, I think there's a lot here about duality, about old and new. And again, it could be like, again, I think there's several things depending on who you are. I think for some of you, this is going to be old and new job. I feel that pretty strongly, like leaving a career, moving on. Maybe you're leaving school for the summer. You might have been graduating and now you're kind of out on your own again because you've graduated in May. Right? So there was a bit of a celebration. It is the ending of being in school and the beginning of your career. So that just came out pretty strongly, and that could be what some of you are dealing with. And so you might be like, I know I have to make a decision. I know I need to figure out what to do next, but honestly, my life has been carved out for me for years now. Now I don't know where to go. Now I don't know what to do. Where do I go next? Right? So we got that anxiety, foreboding, that worry, but also again, you have that here. You have trusting your gut. You have the intuition. You have the knowledge, and you have the power. And that's going to be really important, especially if that last situation resonated with you. Then we end with the moon. So again, the moon can be a card of confusion, but also the moon can also be a very intuitive card. And I think, again, there's like, for me, these three cards, well, first, again, they're major arcana, so I feel like we got a big deal going on here. And these cards, for me, also call on you to really trust your gut, trust your intuition, to really call on your inner power and your inner knowledge. And the moon for me is like kind of that, you know, like perhaps the magician in this way, you might be doing it more outwardly because you're going to realize you can start to build something or create something, right? And the moon for me, it's more like spiritual. It's more kind of like the high priestess, right? We're more like in our intuition, in our like, no, I don't know what, I keep wanting to call it your knowing space. I don't know why. Almost like your intuitive, it's like your guide, that little guiding force that we kind of all have inside of us. Like it's almost like you guiding yourself and saying, you know what, just trust the process. We know that things have changed dramatically, and we know that you're going to see some of this in May. We understand that maybe you're moving towards a new situation, or maybe you've had to change a heart about a situation, but you've been really scared or wrapped up in old things. But you have to kind of, I think, despite confusion, doubt, worry, I think you're being called to let go and move forward anyway. So we're going to have some feelings here, but we have to move forward anyway. And that is going to be a little bit about what May is going to show you. So a little bit of uncertainty with the moon at the end of the month. And I think, again, part of it might just be you kind of dealing with the emotions of it. Part of it might be that you are forging down a new path, or maybe you're just feeling uncertain. Like, can I really do this thing I'm saying? I decided to go off to make changes. I decided to open myself up to something. And now, so yeah, there might be some uncertainty or doubt, but I think the magician's here to remind you that, one, this rebirth is destined. It's made for you and you need this to move on. And two, you've got what it takes to make this work. Okay? You've got what it takes inside of you. And don't forget that. All right. So let's get, let's see. I want to get some guidance real quick. So what might be, and I think I'm going to get a different card because we've kind of taken so many cards out at this point, and I always love to see if a card shows up more than once. Let me grab a card I have close by. I think I'm going to take my little everyday tarot deck because it's small enough that it can fit. And it's just cute. I never use it. So let me grab these real quick. All right. So the first thing I need to do is get out the instruction card. You would like some advice now. What advice can we give to pile one? Again, if they are going to do a new opportunity, a new challenge, a change from within or without, and we do have some anxiety, worry, confusion, self-doubt, what kind of advice can we give to pile one? What's something they should keep in mind for the month of May, or what? Okay, this card right here just kind of flew forward. These cards stick because of the gilding. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is beautiful. You just got the Fool. Okay, and again, another major arcana. And the Fool here, I feel like it's pretty, right? What it's telling you is kind of what I was saying earlier, like this is your time. This change is already destined. So you might be feeling these confusion, uncertainty, loss, afraid to make a choice, you might be doubting your own potential. You might be doubting a new opportunity. You might be scared to let these things in, but I think your advice for May is to take a leap of faith, right? Jump ahead. You may be afraid of falling, but you may be surprised that you are going to fly instead. I think this is kind of like the universe's way of saying it's going to have your back in May. And think about, again, use your gut, use your intuition. What are you really telling yourself is what you really need to do? I think that might help you make a choice and kind of clear off any doubt you have. I think it's just whatever's been brewing here is going to happen in May. I think it's just time, and it feels like it's just right for you. So try to keep that spirit of maybe that lightheartedness, or that, you know what, I'm just going to go and see what happens. I mean, I understand if it's something big, like leaving a job, moving a house. I mean, those kind of things can be kind of hard, but I think you should really pay attention to what's been happening in your life and how this reading is resonating with you. So now I want to so that was kind of our advice to ourselves. And now I want to see what might be an unforeseen challenge in May. Okay, I want this one. So oh, wow. See, this is why I like to pull different. We got the Death card again. And this is all I'm saying. I'm saying is, what is the challenge? And I guess it kind of, for me, clarifies why these cards showed up at the end of the month, because it kind of felt like it was saying that there's, these good things, or you're kind of at a place where you're transforming. So why, right? And I think it's saying that this is actually your challenge. Your challenge is going to be the actual process of whatever this transformation is for you. I do feel like this transformation, honestly, is more internal. I think it, again, because we have the High Priestess and the Magician, I think it has to do a lot with you maybe recognizing talents you have, recognizing strength you have, ability you have. And because of that, because you kind of realize and start to see things different, I think you begin to realize that your old way of living might not be serving you, or some things in your life are just causing so much anxiety or foreboding or worried. And the other thing I notice about these cards is that everybody's on these cards alone. And so part of me wonders if, and I don't know if this is going to be for every of you, but this thought keeps nagging in the back of my head that I think for some of you, this might actually be letting somebody in. And the challenge for you is going to be able to make that transformation. I wonder if some of you feel like you're not good enough. But again, perhaps your intuition or gut is saying like, maybe it's not the right time, or maybe I'm not good enough, or I don't know if I can do this. And I feel like life's saying take a leap of faith. So so whatever it is, whether it be like we've talked about quite a few situations, but I think the challenge itself is you going through and accepting this transformation and kind of being open to the unknown, while still kind of managing your emotions, your anxiety, and your foreboding and everything. And I want to pull a card that's kind of like a where do we find ourselves card. So where do we find ourselves, right? We got some advice. We kind of know what our challenge is going to be. Where do we find ourselves in all of this? And I'm hoping this card will kind of clarify what the actual thing might be that's going on for some of you. And we got the Knight of Wands. So I'm laughing because that's like a message, right? So you might get some news. There might also be some travel. So for some of you, and maybe you've been thinking about, wow, this summer I would love to like go off an adventure or travel, or maybe I am the person that graduated from college and I know I should start doing other things, right, using my talents, but part of me just wants to go off for the summer and have fun. But then I get worried, right? How am I going to get money? Is this the right decision, right? Is this going to be right? But that transformation that you would go through if you went off on your own for the summer, you just feel it in your gut, it's the right thing to do. That just came out of nowhere, but I feel like for some of you, that might be what's going on. And for others of you, I think this Knight of Wands. So this Knight of Wands, I think, is coming into our reading to say there is going to be a message for you in May. Someone coming in. So I do still feel that there is, for some of you, someone that maybe wants to come in, that's been trying to come into your life, and you've kind of been like, no, I can't do this, right? Maybe it's you letting go and accepting that what life is, the way that life is transforming and unfolding for you is for a reason. So open up, let it in, because if you let this person in, you might be surprised at what they bring into your life and how they transform your life. And for some of you, not for everybody. So as I say, like if either of those resonate, I hope that either one of those kind of sound like what you're going through, but that's kind of what I'm feeling. Now I want to get some self-love message cards. So again, this is if yourself could give you a love letter, what would they say? What do they want you to know for May? I'm a big proponent that self-love is the most important and best and first love. I just feel like you really need that, right? Because in situations like this, if you don't understand your potential, your worth, then you sometimes get stuck in things. And so self-love is just so important. So what is a love letter that we would give ourselves in May? I want to this is actually pretty beautiful. I want to let you go. I think that's interesting, seeing as how the death was the challenge, and that transformation would be challenging. So you yourself is saying, I want to let you go. So again, either, and I can read this two ways, right? That if you are that person that's really been thinking about, again, traveling, moving on, there is some travel here, some adventure. I think yourself is telling you, you know what, I want you to go. Or I think you should go on that trip for the summer. I think you should branch out. Or this, I want you to let go of this doubt you have. I want you to let go of what's been holding you back, because I want the good thing to come into your life. It offers potential, it offers love, it offers hope, it offers promise, and we don't have to feel bad about it, right? And then let me get one more. What's one more thing that yourself would love to say to you? This one's kind of sticking in my hand. This one doesn't make sense, but I will call, but not yet. I'm laughing because it's kind of funny because you really can't call yourself. However, remember, the High Priestess is that card of being the intuitive card of using your intuition, paying attention. I wonder if this is kind of yourself saying like, yes, I'm not going to do it now, but come May, right? I will start giving you your messages from yourself, right? So maybe, again, I think it might go back to the dreams, the weird synchronicities, things that are going to line up, and maybe see that as a love letter from yourself, trying to point you in the right direction, but it has to do it obviously through like the intuitive way or through dreams, because, and I guess we technically could call ourselves on the phone, but if we called ourselves on the phone from our own phone, wouldn't we just get a busy signal? Okay, so that's really great, you guys. I'm going to leave you here. I hope this resonated with you. Yeah, if you are like planning on taking a trip, I don't know if you would regret that. Like, especially if you're young and you just finished school, then you got to take those trips because you'll just learn so much about yourself. And if you are someone that is just really struggling to let someone in or let some change in, new project, please just keep in mind your power, your potential, and the fact that some of your confusion and uncertainty is almost from your own making. So I think a lot of this is telling you to let go, kind of go easy on yourself, ease up on yourself, let go, and kind of maybe just allow life to transform the way it will in May. And if you do, then I think you'll see some of that promise come to life. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you in my next one. Hi Pile 2, if you chose the Sun card from the Star Tarot deck, then this is your reading. Pile 1's went pretty good, so I'm feeling goodness coming from these readings today, so I'm excited to see what is in store for you for May. So our first card we're going to pick is going to be kind of the overall or general theme of the month of what we could expect in May. And I think I said this in the beginning of Pile 1, but I don't know if I said it in the beginning of the video. But usually with readings, I've been liking to get some clarifier cards to determine if the reading is for you. But with pick a pile readings, I'm going to allow you to make that decision based on the pile that you chose, and kind of you can go by what the reading says. All right, so first off, the Ace of Pentacles. And pile 1 got a clarifier card that came out, so I'm going to maybe pull one for you guys as well. But so we have the King of Pentacles, so this is good. This is a good promise for May. Okay, this stuck in my hand, and it was the 10 of Cups. Man, I think you guys are in store for a good May. So I don't know if this is going to really be for everybody's reading, but this is kind of, as I look at these cards, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like for some of you, you may have someone in your life that's going to come in and offer you, I want to say, I just felt like saying offer you the world. And that's a lot to put on somebody's plate, but I think for you, they're going to offer you the world, right? So kind of what would mean for you. I do think for some of you, if you're single, you're probably going to meet someone, or there's someone that's kind of been around that, again, because it's like knights, right? So I'm seeing it as like the second stage of something. So maybe you're going to level up with someone, but there's something here that is beautiful. And we have, maybe there's someone that you've been talking to or been involved with, and you guys are going to move to the relationship level. I want to say more than a relationship, but I don't know, right? If you're single, I wouldn't say that you're going to get married, but if you've been involved with someone for a long time and you've been waiting and hoping, maybe this is whatever it is. I think you've got some goodness coming your way. So some of you may know or be involved with someone that you see as very humble, hardworking, gentle, and kind, someone that's very reliable, right? And again, this like 10 of Cups is kind of that ultimate wish fulfillment for love and happiness. And so I just feel like you see this. This might not be for every one of you, but for some of you, I think your wish is about to come true. And I think you know what that means. And I think you're going to get some really good news in May. And it's going to be very grounding for you. It's going to give you some stability and love and hope. You're going to feel that sense of, I have someone or people in my life and so again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. It might just be meeting a new friend that makes you feel this way. It might be you just like realizing the people you have in your life actually give you this stability, give you this love, give you this hope, they're people that there's like this element of working hard. But yeah, there's something very beautiful here. So I think that this is, again, the general theme. But your general theme for May is probably going to have a lot to do with hard work. Because even with the Knight cards, they can represent other people. They can also represent what needs to come out in you. So I'm kind of seeing a month of hard work, dedication, moving forward, opening up in love, opening up to people, and kind of really manifesting and creating in real life kind of these things that are, again, for you is kind of like what would mean the world to you. Right. So now we're going to pull a few cards to kind of look at what might we expect on a week-to-week basis in May. But your general overall theme is looking pretty good. I kind of feel like maybe you're just going to be working hard, living life, letting love in. Like living and loving, man. I think that's what May is going to be for you. Living and loving. And if you got some amazing person in your life that you see as hardworking, genuine, stable, consistent, let the love in. Because someone's there for you. And you got to let it in because there's a lot of happiness here. All right, let's see. What can we expect on our week to week? And as I was talking about that, we get another Cups, the Princess of Cups. All right, I'm like dying here because now we got 2 Cups and 2 more Pentacles. They're matching each other. We got another Pentacle, the 2 of Pentacle, and if this is a cup, I'm sorry. So I'm going to tell you straight off the bat that this for me feels very strongly of love, but not just love, something that's very significant. The other thing is you have all the suits here. You have the princes are page in this deck. Where you have the page, you have the knight, you have the queen, and the king, right? So, and again, and then you have like 10 of Cups, which is really that like happy family. You have the 2 of Pentacles, so we've got like balancing here. We've got feminine and masculine blended together very beautifully. I mean, come on. So this is something I'm kind of feeling as I look at these cards, that I feel like some of you have someone in your life that you just got to open up to, because I don't think you're even aware at the beauty and love and what they have to offer you. And I think May be going to be your time to kind of understand that not only is this person like a romantic interest, but they hold the key, right? They hold the key to creating solid, stable, real, I want to say life to your life. I always see the Pentacles. I mean, the Pentacles are very earthy sign. They're about material things. I always see them as just like the realness in your life, right? So you can be stuck in your thoughts or daydreaming, but no. We're not messing with daydreaming with the Pentacles. We're building stuff. We're seeing concrete 3D, right? It's not just like something in our brain, it's something 3D, something we could pick up, something we can move. That's what I mean when I say 3D. It's real. You can see it, you can feel it, you can know it. That is just pretty awesome in this deck. So I do feel like there's a lot of emotions involved for you. So I think that whatever this is, so again, you might be meeting someone, but it feels like or someone that you know is going to, I'm feeling like an offer here of love. And I'll link my other video below. I've talked about this in another video, but I actually sometimes shy away from love readings because I don't know, I don't want to give people false hope. And I've looked at readings where it told me I was going to meet someone and I didn't. And I was like, okay, well, and here I am, I'm alone again. So I don't want to give people false hope, especially when you're single, because I'm single and I get it. Like, sometimes it's hard, especially when you kind of go through the process of dating and then you meet someone, you get excited and it doesn't work out or whatever, something happens and then you move on to the next person. I mean, I'm totally with you guys if you're going through that. I am in that position and I feel for people that are in that position. So that, I guess I always have this in my head when I give love readings because I don't want to give false hope. But I mean, I can't make this up because every card is a cup or a pentacle. We have like so much love here. We have just like this giving. We've got, like I said, there's such a beautiful balance here. And I really feel like for you, like perhaps in May, you might just, something really great might just be happening. And I don't think I need to doubt that. So I'm going to go with this reading. And I really hope that for some of you, this resonates with you. I don't know why I keep, I wish I could say I felt like someone new was coming in, but I honestly don't think it's new. And the reason why is like, I don't know, I just don't feel that. I kind of feel more like it's something that's probably been brewing or working on, or yeah, I think I said this earlier. It's almost like the next level of something occurring. And I mean, is there someone that you've been hanging out with that you've been kind of like enjoying, but I don't know, there's like another level here on a good note, right? It looks like a very good, happy note that is going to be sustained. I think our pentacles are about sustaining things, like building things and then keeping them, things we can count on. Yeah, there's just a lot of strength about moving to the next level, falling in love or being in love, making a firm commitment to each other, maybe finally making that decision that like, you know what, why are we holding back? Because together we hold the keys, we have the love, we have the passion, we have the friendship, right? We balance each other out, but also we make each other better. We can grow, we can create things in our lives. So let's just go for it. Like that is kind of a conversation I just heard in my head when I look at these. I just think you've got a month of happiness, contentment, and yeah, balance and hope. So the cups here are just awesome. And I really love when cups and pentacles come together because kind of like what I was talking about, it's for me, this combination says, okay, not only is it love or romance or something fleeting, right? It's grounded. It's got roots. So maybe you're building some roots with someone and that, so I love that everything is meshed together. And it's, like I said, there's a lot of balance here, right? There's 3 pentacles, 3 cups. We've got the card of balance. We got the feminine and we got 2 feminine, 2 masculine. We got like beginning of something and towards the end of something. There's just a lot of like balance and flow and yeah, something that I think you're going to be able to really sink your teeth into, build roots on, kind of set store by, because I think whatever it is good. There's just definitely the promise of a rewarding future and a rewarding path. And yeah, there's someone here. I feel like there's someone that's involved in this. So maybe you're just going to have an awesome summer of love and happiness and man, just enjoy it. Cause if that's what you're getting in May, then just enjoy it. Cause I feel like you probably deserve it. And our Queen of Pentacles is also like that card of sensuality. So again, I feel like you're gonna there's definitely some love here and some love time and some like and I think I just feel this need to go with the flow, to enjoy it, to really engage in that sensual side of yourself, knowing that there's a grounding force here that's not going to let you fall. I'm going to get a couple clarifier cards. So first I want to get a card about My last reading, I did like a where do you find yourself and a challenge card. And I was thinking maybe do that. So first I'm going to start with kind of a where do you find yourself card, right? Like what's your advice to yourself? And it kind of feels like, because if, you know, it's going to start out, it's going to just stay the course throughout the month too, I feel like. And again, I feel like this is someone you already know. Again, it's May, the sun's out, it's spring, right? That spring fever thing is kind of what I'm feeling. It feels like you're going to open your heart up and it's going to be a great choice for you with some really great long-term potential here. All right, the Hermit. This is in the position of where you find yourself, and it's the Hermit. So that can kind of be a card of withdrawal or thinking, right? Or kind of gathering your strength. So remember that. The Hermit is the one that is okay with their aloneness, is okay with withdrawing from life. So where you find yourself might be one. I think it's saying give yourself those periods of rest or solitude, or also I think maybe you've already given yourself a lot of rest and solitude, and that's kind of where you're at, right? Because it was where you find yourself coming into the month, and now it's time to let this beauty, love, happiness into your life. My guess is maybe you've spent too much time being a hermit, too much time by yourself, and now maybe it's just time for you to let other things in, let the light back in, let the love back in. You're going to be okay. And you have yourself, and I think you have a more stronger, stable, solid understanding of yourself now. And if you just need, if there's times and days where you feel like, oh, I just need a day off, I need to relax, I need some peace, I would say take it. I really think that this situation, like I said, seems to be grounded in a lot of beauty and like rootness. And so I think you're going to be okay. And let's go ahead and see what might be the challenge for us this month. What might be our challenge, like an unforeseen challenge for May? Oh yeah, I'm just, for the clarifier cards, I'm using the, close this, the Everyday Tarot. It's like the mini version, which I kind of love, except for the gilding makes the cards stick together. All right, so where might be something unforeseen in our otherwise looking pretty positive, happy month that we've got going in May? Really wanting a card to come out. There we go. Hey, as I said that, the Devil upside down. But I don't often read upside down. I think the Devil's fitting here too, because the Devil can be about addiction, right? So this is something you don't see coming. So I'm kind of feeling here like maybe, again, maybe we start partying too hard in May. Maybe we start overindulging a little in May and we kind of have to slow down and kind of, you know, maybe we're almost over enjoying all this happiness that we just need to chill out for a little bit. Maybe we need to chill on the drinking, on the smoking. Maybe we need, this is kind of like R-rated, but there is a lot about sensuality here. Maybe you need to like chill on the sex for a while. I don't usually say stuff like that, but I mean, it's kind of here. So, and I like these two cards kind of go together. So even though, like, again, you might have moments in the month where you're like, okay, I feel like I just drank like 5 nights in a row, or I'm partying all the time, or kind of lost focus at work, or just want to be with this person all the time, or I just want, or maybe I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed. Okay, if you have those moments, you know what your advice is to yourself? Retreat, take a break, take a moment. I think both of these cards kind of show you that, again, it might be just something that's been so great going on, so happy that you don't have to absorb it all at once. You can slow down, take your time, right? The Pentacles here, they promise that, like I said, this is something that seems to be more grounded, more rooted in reality and more long-term. So enjoy the happiness of the moment, but don't feel like you can't let it go or it's going to disappear, because I feel like you might be burning the candles at both edges, like they say, but it just feels like something that's good that's going to be in your life for a while. So enjoy this moment, but if you catch yourself overindulging a little, kind of getting up slightly obsessive, then just take a step back, okay? Get back into yourself. All right, so now we're going to get some self-love messages. So what is a love message, or what would your self tell you in May, right? All right, so 2 came out, great. So the first thing you would tell yourself is, I think our connection has run its course. And what do you need and want from a lover? Which is, that I find interesting, because we kind of talked about how, again, this like that feeling of getting that wish fulfillment. So I guess this kind of begs the question, do you know what that is for yourself? Like, do you know what it is that would be a wish fulfillment for you when it came to love and having someone in your life, maybe building a life with someone? And I think the connection has run its course. I kind of like that it's paired with the challenge card, because I'm getting a sense of overindulging, rushing. It's like, okay, right, the waves are coming that like, oh my gosh, this is almost too good to be true. Or again, so going back to balance, right? So if you have moments where, okay, kind of you're hitting a wall on a day, or maybe it's been several days, or maybe you just need, again, to retreat, maybe just acknowledge. I think it's asking you to acknowledge your limitations when they come. I kind of want a clarifier one for that. I do feel like it can be read different ways, but let's see. So you say, I think our connection has run its course. So is this a temporary thing? What's happening here? I will miss spending time with you. All right, so yeah, I kind of feel like it's more of like this, it's like kind of what I talked about earlier, which is you're probably gonna at some point gonna need to take a pause, gonna need to take a break. You might be starting to overindulge, right? And I think you're gonna have to recognize those moments where you're like, hey, this is really great, but whoa, I feel overwhelmed right now. I'm feeling like I just need to rest right now. I need myself right now. I'm worried that if I don't stop going, so almost like you're worried it might be a fling, that if you leave, it's going to run its course. But I think life, there's these signs here that no, it's going to be more long-term. And I think that's actually all I have for you. I really hope for you guys that you get this love and happiness and just really good times that are promised for you here in May. I just keep thinking in my head, I just keep hearing this in my head over and over. Is there someone you've been hanging out with? Is there something that's been kind of brewing? Because I think May might bring something good your way, but don't be scared. And if it could be that connection too. If the friendship has run its course, maybe it's just the natural outgrowth that it's time to move it forward, right? So that part may have run its course, but have you really figured out what you want, right? Because I've noticed that I always miss you and I'm ready to bump this up. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you here. I'm wishing you the best for May, and I will see you in my next video. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Sun from the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, then this is your reading. And so far the readings have been good. We've got a little bit of everything, so I'm excited to see what it comes out for this pile. I've also been talking like nonstop for over an hour at this point, so I feel my throat's kind of scratchy, or my voice is scratchy. That's why. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. So there we go. The first card just popped out before I could even say it. What I'm trying to say is the first card is going to be kind of the overall theme for the month. We got the Hangman, and then I'm going to get a clarifier for that as well. So let's clarify this. Hangman as our theme, please. Okay, we got the King of Pentacles. So the Hanged Man for me is always that card of making a sacrifice for the greater good, right? And then we have the King of Pentacles. So we have, this is kind of what I'm feeling initially as I look at these cards, that you are trying to create some good things in your life, or you basically are going to make some sacrifices in May. Now, I don't think that they're super big fat sacrifices, but I think they're sacrifices because they're leading you towards the thing that you want to create, whether it be with a career, with your home, with building your life in some way. And you might and may come to realize that, okay, the things I'm doing up to this point, like, are they really helping me get to this? I think I might need to make some changes or some sacrifices. I need to think about the ultimate goal or the greater good. If I really want to, again, create that empire of mine, the thing that I want, the thing that's going to make me happy and stable and grow, what do I need to let go of? What's going to help me move forward? Because ultimately we got our eye on the prize here. I think that's going to be your theme in May. For some of you, there might be a lot of hard work. In general, there's a challenge here. And in order, I think, to rise to the challenge or rise to the occasion, you're going to have to make some changes. And I am feeling like a money thing here. Or like I said, just like a kind of just making choices that you know that you need to do, because it's really what you need to do for yourself or your life or your family or whatever it is that you hold near and dear to your heart. So I don't, I think it's okay. I think it's, like I said, it's just going to be a summer of hard work, and keeping your eye on the prize is just kind of what I feel pretty strongly. We're going to get some more cards. So we're going to get 4 cards to represent kind of the weeks of the month, or kind of like what can we expect during the month. So what can we expect for pile 3? Our pile that's probably going to be working hard, kind of, rising up to the occasion here and kind of doing what they need to do to build what they want. And also there's a sense of like establishing more confidence in yourself. Okay, this one was sticking out. I'm going to take it, and it's our sun card that has popped up again, which I think is really interesting because that was the card that we used and none of the sun cards came up at all, but you got your sun. So if you were really drawn to this card in the pick a pile, here you go. It's back to let you know that you have made the right decision. And yeah, I think that we got the sun here. We have the 4 of Pentacles. So yeah, there's definitely this earthly rooted. I'm kind of starting to see this image of someone who just has this image of what they want for their home, their life, their family, right? They're the people that they love. They're recognizing that we kind of got a breadwinner here. Kind of got someone that's ready to, again, rise to the occasion and make the sacrifices they need, because you just have really great things in your life and you're ready to build. You're ready. And we've got the Miser card here, right? So again, letting go of old things, making those sacrifices for the greater good in order to allow better things in your life, and kind of have that sense of pride and growth in what you have accomplished. Which makes me think that some of you will be working towards some type of an accomplishment in May with perhaps your talent, your work, your career, personal goals, stuff like that. Let's get 2 more. Okay, we got now that one didn't really come out and it doesn't feel right to me. It's just a moment. Really want cards to fall out. Been like really feeling the cards coming out on their own and kind of helping guide the readings today. Wait, this one though. So we have the Tower. Whoa. We have the Ace of Pentacles. When I first saw the Tower, I was like, oh gosh, a tower, right? Because sometimes those tower moments, those can be like unexpected loss or change, that's something that throws you kind of for a loop. But I want us to keep it in perspective that these cards are representing kind of minor mundane tasks of the greater theme. When I think about it that way, so it being surrounded with great pentacle cards and the sun, and again, there's like that growth and letting go. I see this more of an internal tower moment. Like this for me is just kind of reinforcing what we already talked about with the Hangman and the 4 of Pentacles, that it's like you're the one that is letting go of things, letting go of maybe things you held on really near and dear to, because you are recognizing now that you have to sacrifice in order, again, to help your home, to help your family, to help the growth, to help you reach an ultimate goal. And my guess is that since this is, again, the general theme, that there's going to be something that happens during the month that maybe you have that epiphany or that moment or that realization like, oh man, you know what? I think I have to let go of this. I think I have to make a change with my work schedule. I think I have to make a change with, I'm kind of seeing someone that maybe has a lot of free time or has kind of built like a certain routine, and now they're being asked to kind of upheave that routine for, again, the greater good, because it has to happen, because you're someone that's a little bit stuck in their ways, and I think, again, is going to be asked to step outside of that self and recognize that there is so much that wants to come into your life. In order to allow that to come into your life, you have to make the necessary changes. You have to be willing to let go of things, be less stubborn. You have to be willing to accept that the way, I'm seeing someone that's got like a stubborn, firm grasp on what they want on a daily life. They're like, no, I have to do it this way. No, this is what I want. This is how I want my day to be. This is how I want my week to go. I don't want to work extra. I don't want to make these, oh wait, you know what? Actually, I do, because I have wonderful things in my life. I have hope in my life. There's like this promise here of creating something that's strong and stable, not just for me, for my family or for my loved ones or the people I care about. And I'm holding myself back in a way. So you know what? May's kind of showing me that I think it's time to let that go a little. Make those sacrifices, show these people I care about them, create the home I want, create the life I want, work towards the goals I want, because As long as I'm holding on to this, I'm not going to realize the potential of that potential here of what can actually be created in my life that not only serves me, but serves the people that bring happiness to my life, that bring joy to my life, that bring peace and hope and love to my life. I feel like you're definitely someone that has something, right? You might have a partner, you might not, you might have some children, you might have family. It feels like you're someone that has other people that you want to grow for, you want to change for, you want to present as your best self for. We have love here, we have family here, right? So I think that's, again, May is probably going to show you like, well, if you want to show up as your best self, you want to be that provider, you want to allow those opportunities that are going to make positive changes for you and the people you love and care about, great. Because they are there and they are going to stick by your side and they're going to love you. And that here is promised. But we're going to have to make some sacrifices to what we do in the day, right? We're going to have to let go a little. We're going to have to accept some changes and accept that some of the patterns we've been in or some of our old ways of life are only serving to hold us back at this point, and they're not helping us grow in the ways that we want. And that is kind of what I'm feeling here in May. And again, it could be one event, it could be kind of like a realization. I think you kind of know. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a card to clarify where do you find yourself, and then we'll get a challenge card. So where can pile 3 find themselves? I see you kind of as someone that wants to do right. You want to do right by your family. You want to do right by, and whatever your family is, again, it could be you and your dog. It could be you and your kid. It could be you and your partner and your family. I mean, I don't know, right? There's all different ways to have families. So I'm just kind of seeing it as the people you love or the people you care about in your life, right? The people that make home home, or the people that just bring happiness and joy into your existence, right? You want to do right by those people. You want to show those people like a better level, a better version of you. And you know, in order to do that, you got to let go of some things. And I think that this piece is very personal, but it's coming from a personal stance, but the outpour of it is going to enhance you, enhance them, enhance your life. So it's kind of a beautiful message here. Wait, where can we find ourselves? Where can pile 3 find themselves during the month of May? Yeah, you've got some promise here, but it's funny because it almost feels like the promise that's being here, very dependent on the choice you make. So are you going to choose to make some changes? Are you going to choose to kind of fall more into your role as the provider and caretaker, and kind of fall into, I think you might be holding a role in your family where you have people depending on you, looking up to you, loving you, and just they're there for you. I just get this sense of people that just love you, man. They're there for you. They care about you. If you need to level up, I think people got your back, okay? And they're going to be proud of you. There's like a sense of pride here. Okay, so let's get, again, well, no cards are falling out, and that's really what I'm feeling. Can we please get a card? Where can pile 3 find themselves? Where do we find ourselves? What kind of advice do we have for them? Perfect. The 8 of Cups. So funny, the card about letting go. And we talked a lot about letting go. And again, I think that's just reinforcing you, perhaps maybe. So if you're kind of stuck on what should I let go of, what can I keep? So again, maybe I don't really want to let go of my kind of easy schedule I have, but if I did, then I could get, B, and then if I got B, I could make C better. So I think it's going to be you finding yourself. I think in the end, it kind of shows that you are going to be able to make the right choices and decisions, that you are going to be able to walk away from the things that are keeping you a little stuck. And I think you're going to be able to walk towards that kind of what we talked about, right? That growth, that potential, that you creating something not only for yourself or others. And it is going to be like a tower moment. I think it's going to be almost like you changing routines, habits, patterns that you're just going to have to say goodbye to. And it's kind of like, I think May's going to show you like, hey man, it's time to say goodbye to this. It's time to get ourselves together. It's time to get ourselves in gear. It's time to get our butts moving, because we got people there, right? We got people that are relying on us. We're relying on ourselves. We're holding ourselves back. So it's just time to say goodbye. And so I think that's probably going to be something that kind of comes through again and again. And then we're going to get a clarifier card. So what might be an unexpected challenge to this. I guess I'm kind of feeling like May is going to bring for you, again, this realization of, okay, I have to change. I think you're going to start seeing and realizing how I feel like you have multiple eyes on you of people that look at you and just think, I love you. I care about you. You're our stability. You're our rock. We look up to you. And you're going to kind of realize like, oh, right. I'm the one that has to help create the home. I'm the one that has to show up. Because I think it's like a win-win, right? Because you realize too, like, I'm blessed, I'm lucky, I have this. And it's almost like your way of giving to the people that give you so much. So you might have been a little bit selfish before, but I think you're kind of letting go of that and saying goodbye to it to open up to the love that you have around you and what you can work on and create. Again, what might be a challenge there for us? Okay. This card, I think, the Emperor. So that's in our challenge. And the Emperor to me is like the major arcana version of the King of Pentacles. The Emperor is, again, I don't know if you're a male. You might be a male or you might be very masculine. You might take on, I don't want to like put that, because I don't know if it'll resonate with you or not, but I'm going to think not so much in terms of gender or sex, but more in terms of your role. So the Emperor, for me, is always that epitome of the provider, of the caretaker, right? The one that creates and makes things solid and real and like the ultimate, right? We're like the King of Pentacles and the Emperor. We've got the ultimate lover, the ultimate provider, the ultimate father, just the ultimate. And the fact that you've got, and I always see these as kind of minor and major versions of a similar theme. And the fact that you got both of them. So I think, again, and it goes back to this being in your challenge doesn't really surprise me because I feel like you know this is you know this is inside of you. And the challenge, I think, is accepting this role. And the reason why it's challenging is because in order to take on this role or to do what you have to do, again, you have to let go of things that you've been holding on to. You're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to let go of things. So that is going to be what is challenging to you. But I just keep feeling like, man, you're blessed. Like I just feel like you're someone. Yeah, I just keep seeing this image of like this person standing there with just love around them and people that are just like, to me, you're my world, right? I look at you and I see this wonderful person who I can depend on, who I can love, who brings me what I need, who provides for me. And it's almost like you're struggling with that. Like part of you, I think, wants to be a free bird and go off and do things, right? And just be young. And I think the other part of you is maybe, again, recognizing that you're playing a new and different role in the home, in manifesting stuff for yourself and your loved ones. I think when you come down to like, what can we expect in May? I think you can expect this. So you might end up having to, so maybe things you're doing are kind of going to hit ahead in May. Or finally by May, it's going to be like, all right, no more of this. It's time to, you need to put the selfishness aside. You need to put the wanting to be alone aside. It's time to open ourselves up, create things, right? It's just time. I think it's going to be like kind of something like that. So we're going to get some self-love message cards. So what would yourself tell you in May? So maybe what could it give you as some advice, some warning? Okay, the first thing it says was put yourself first. Which I think is so funny that came out because we talked so much about the self and your role. And yeah, it's like that saying. I think it's kind of like the airplane thing, right? In order to save others, you have to first save yourself, right? In order to provide for others and create for others, you have to first think about yourself. What are you doing? What are you not doing? What are you holding back on? What are you afraid to let go of? Right, so take some time in May to think about that because you're a king. You're an emperor. You're there, man. I just feel like, again, I feel someone that's so like this, something good. Maybe you're just going to need to take some time by yourself in the first week of May to come to these conclusions, and maybe to really accept, okay, I'm going to take some time for myself. I'm going to put myself first in the beginning of May. I'm going to figure out what's working, what's not working. What do I need to let go of? What can I do? What do I want to create? Who are these people that are looking at me with big googly eyes, right? What do they want from me? And you know what? I realize I actually want to give it to them. So before I can get to this step, I need to let go. So yeah, think about that first. I think give yourself some time in the beginning of the month. Like, what is it you want? Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to build a home? Do you want to advance your career, right? Do you want to finally get married to that person and just kind of go for it? Do you want to kind of let go of your, so I just felt like let go of your single life. That might mean something to some of you. I don't know. All right. The other card that's just coming out is I need space, which is pretty funny because we were just talking about giving yourself some time in the beginning. So I think that's a good course for you. I think in the beginning of the month, you need to give yourself space. You need to put yourself first. We need to have this ultimate goal of, you know what? You're a creator. You're a provider. You've got talent. You've got what it takes inside to create real stuff in your life for the people you love. Like, you can build and you will build. But first, spend some time with yourself, take some space, think about yourself, think about what's working, what's not working, think about the stuff that needs to fall away, what's the things you need to let go of, or the things you need to sacrifice. And for some reason, I just heard alcohol as I was talking. Are some of you needing to let go of drinking? I don't know why that came up. It's really weird. It just kind of popped in my head as I was talking. I almost interrupted myself with that thought. It's just a vice, right? So maybe the alcohol drinking thing is just a symbol for vice. So and I think that's pretty good actually, that you need to let go of some vices that you have. Yeah, I think it's just time to like put your boots on, put your clothes on and get to work. And I think the better choices in May will come out of an initial period of giving yourself space, spending time with yourself, really thinking about it, and then putting yourself first in the sense of, okay, these things aren't serving me anymore. I'm going to let it go. I actually really do want to create my kingdom, my domain, my home. I want these things for the people I love. I have the potential here. I can do it, right? So I would say, yeah, I think it's fine to take a week or two to put yourself first, but let's end May with this clear idea of what needs to change, what you're going to do, how you're going to change things, how you're going to build, how you're going to grow, and an appreciation for the love that has carried you this far, and that you're making these sacrifices not just for yourself, because again, I really feel like you're not alone. There's someone else with you. So maybe one, maybe more, I don't know, but I just see something else. And it's almost like these decisions you're not making for you anymore. It's not just about you anymore. It's about others. And I think you're going to kind of come to understanding of that in May. All right, you guys, that is it for your reading. I hope this was helpful. If this pile didn't resonate with you, you should try one of the other ones. This definitely feels like the most specific pile I've had so far. But I thank you so much for watching, and please, again, consider subscribing if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video. Bye.